Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look here at Terra Classic, helping you understand what's going to happen next, because what we do is we take a look at previous data, of course, help you understand the general concept of descending trends as well as ascending trends and what happens when you have a trend reversal and how that might continue. Cool. So we're going to take a look at that much more. If you are new to the channel though, keep in mind I'm not a financial advisor. I really do love teaching people how to trade. So this is my full-time job. I trade every single day. And if you take a look, of course, at cryptocash.tech, you got to essentially register to become a member. Highly recommend you registering before year end, just based on the fact that you can lock in your rate for next year, of course, because you're grandfathered in if you were to register before the rates do change. Okay, so bear that in mind. As part of my community as well, we also have amazing traders here, of course. Everyone's kicking some really good butt recently. Of course, Alexandru, no surprise, got some phenomenal trades. We take a look here, of course, Mechanical Investor doing really well with some shorts leading into the weekend, and obviously a handful of other traders too. So again, these are all just things that kind of we all band together and learn and grow together. So it's an awesome experience. Some of my members have been here for years now, actually. So thank you again for being just amazing parts of my life. Last thing you want to know is we do use Bitget as the best exchange in the country, in the world too, actually, rather. It's in my country, but honestly, it's much better than Bybit or anything else that you can use. Better than KuCoin in my personal opinion. And what's great is we have a $10,000 prize pool monthly. Okay, so every single month you'll be eligible for that. All you gotta do is use the link in the description below to register and effectively, obviously, use the account. But generally speaking, it's easy. It's based on trading volume and profit and loss ratio. So you could have one good trade and never trade for that entire time and still benefit from it. So really cool stuff. Keep in mind, you will actually need a VPN if you're going to be trading in the States or other countries that are restricted. So again, with myself, of course, we recently partnered with ExpressVPN, 12 months free. So, or correction, I'm sorry, 3 months free with a 12-month membership. Okay, so awesome stuff there. Be sure to check that out. But really cool things going on here, obviously outside of what's going on with Terra Classic. So let's talk about this here. Look how amazing this is. First of all, a couple of cool things we want to note, because we see this descending trend here, right? We're effectively making lower highs pretty consistently, and obviously continue to make lower lows. Okay. Now what we saw was a trend reversal here, where the price action kind of went sideways in this area, and then it continued higher. We can see that on smaller time frames, but generally speaking, there's two things that happen when you see a trend reversal. First of all, it'll get range bound and it'll continue to retest key levels, which we can kind of see is at this area right here at 0.382 for Fibonacci. That is 14,700. In my previous videos, I mentioned that would be a resistance area, and once we break through that, kind of balls to the wall up until we hit this 0.618 area. So keep in mind, right here at about 16,500, we will see some resistance, because once again, that's a previous support and resistance level if you go way back. All right, so back all the way through to June of 22, obviously earlier this year, roughly 6 months ago, that was a key level resistance, and it could work as the same as well moving forward. Coincidentally, it's stacking up with the Fibonacci retracement level, so we got to respect that and make sure that we understand that it could very well hit that level. Okay. So awesome stuff in that sense. Here's the cool thing as well. And again, this you got to keep in mind, this is not finished yet. This trading day is not over. So if you can see we are above 50 on the hour side, that's fantastic. We want to close at or above where we're at right now to be able to have that happen though. Okay, so keep in mind, a little premature to kind of celebrate there, but that is positive nonetheless to get that retest of that level. We also have a MACD convergence here as well, which is nice. We can see that started forming yesterday and of course broke through today. So it does imply we should experience further bullish momentum. Okay, the bulls have taken control. That's basically what it tells us. And if we take a quick look here too as well, we can see Bitcoin dominance is kind of drawing dead and Bitcoin's going sideways. Okay, so when you see that happen, altcoins such as Terra Classic and a handful of others, a lot of times Dogecoin as well, will continue just to kind of take off and move up quite rapidly. So a lot of the market capitalization from Bitcoin's coming over here to Terra Classic. So those are some cool things to kind of recognize. Another cool thing as well here we can kind of see, if we zoom in a little bit, is that we have the 50-day SMA working as a potential resistance level, but that is essentially an area in which, once again, we're going to see some problems. And when I say problems, I just mean it's going to have some difficulty getting through that the first attempt. Likelihood of a cup and handle is pretty high, where you see this cup and the handle form. That's a very common characteristic, so pay attention for that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pullback right at the 16.5 range to retest this level here at 0.5 if we were to break through that here today. Okay, so again, just some things obviously you want to kind of pay attention to, but this is mostly positive. A lot of good stuff here on the daily. Taking a look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and see what we can identify here. Looks like we got a decent amount of consolidation. Just to kind of touch on this here really quick, you can see consolidate, and then break through. And of course, it broke through pretty hard through this area. Again, strong resistance channels have a tendency of doing that, where the price kind of got stuck within this range and then inevitably broke to the upside. We see the test of the 200-day SMA here on the 4-hour. That's commonly a place in which you'll see a lot of resistance. So equal to the 50-day SIP moving average on the actual daily will be the 200-day on the 4-hour. The math is roughly the same, so they're very similar in a lot of ways. So we can expect this channel here between, again, the 0.5 and 0.618 Fibonacci retracement levels of 15,600 upwards of 16,500 to be a resistance channel. Okay, so we should experience some turbulence here where the price even may reject and come back down to retest. Okay, so again, we're not in the clear yet, but we're definitely looking very good to get above that first resistance level, but we do got a little bit more ground to cover. Let's take a look at TD sequential, kind of see where to 6. So we're basically right in this range of about 24 hours into this continuation of the upside. Okay, so hypothetically, a full continuation can last about 48 hours. So there is still room for growth, but we don't want it to really go too much higher. So that way it can kind of have a chance to kind of consolidate here and leg up again. Because you see what happened here previously. It came up to test this level and then it goes sideways. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We want to see the same exact behavior up here as well. So that way the price can leg up once more and break that strong resistance at the 50-day SMA at 16.5. Okay, so again, for the most part, we're looking positive here, but that is essentially something that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a red flag, but it's just telling us it needs to pull back a little bit. And if we look down below here as well, the relative strength index, you can see that we're overextended, of course, and that's just something that we have to pay attention to. We have to acknowledge that even though we do have strong momentum here to the upside, and we got a nice little bounce here, a type of convergence on the MACD, it doesn't imply it's going to last much longer. So I'd expect the price to go sideways before it legs up again. If it legs up initially, expect a harder rejection moving forward. That's essentially what it's telling us. Okay. Keep that in mind, and also bear in mind too, a lot of times when market opens, just say the traditional market opens well tomorrow, a coin like this, any coins that are actually doing good going into a sideways market will have a tendency of stalling out while the rest of the market catches up. So we could very well see that as well. Hard to say just yet, but that's generally speaking something that's a very common characteristic. If we take a look at the hourly, we can see an overextension for sure. So we're at a 9 plus, really just telling us that if it goes up any further, it could actually come back down again. So the common narrative here is that the price is fairly overextended on the shorter term time frames, and that we shouldn't experience a tremendous amount more growth moving forward. It would be, I wouldn't say it'd be a bad idea, but it's not a great idea to go long right now because the likelihood of a pullback is greater just based on it being overextended. And the reason why I say that is because it came up to a 9 previously. While it consolidated and broke through this resistance level, it's nice. It's still pushed up and legged up again and doing the same thing here. Not to say it couldn't leg up once more, but it needs more consolidation before it can do that. But again, you see 2 9s in a row. Regardless of the consolidation, the likelihood of a pullback becomes greater. Okay, so again, statistical probability of the price going down is higher than it is to go up right now. Okay, so again, that doesn't necessarily imply you want to just short your shirt off, but it does tell us that it is overextended to the upside. Let's see if there's any other indicators telling us we want to close any long positions, and truth be told, we don't. Honestly, this is very, very good. And when you see this here, lagging span's very free and clear. Conversion lines above the baseline got good momentum, and we're above the cloud. So that's another reason not to short into this, because it still has momentum and it still could carry. So with that being said, the best thing to do at this point, in most cases, and I know traders hate to hear this, but I would just, unless you're a day trader and you're going to be scalping a little bit of a pullback, I would wait and hold your long position open to see if it can go up further. If this starts to kind of collapse in on itself and get closer and the price is just going sideways for this long, then the likelihood of a pullback is actually higher. Okay, but for right now, it makes sense for the price to consolidate at this support level before it either decides to go up or down. Okay, so again, based on your trading style and your trading, your risk tolerance, make sure you effectively use an appropriate type of trade setup, because even though it's doing well right now, there's no guarantee it's going to just shoot up from here, because we've already identified that it's got some strong resistance at this range here, right at 0.618, which is again 16,500. So if you were to short, that would be the best place to consider a short. I would just say between now and then, it would be probably best to wait a little while, because we're still in that little rough patch, or that gray area where it could literally just drop like a rock or shoot straight up from here. Okay, so again, just little things you want to kind of think about. So sidelines is probably the best strategy here. That's just my personal choice. You don't have to do that, but the proof is in the pudding here, as they say, and you can kind of see that we have broken this descending trend. It's pretty obvious this trend is broken, which is great. but it doesn't imply it's going to run. It just implies that if it goes sideways, it shouldn't come any lower than that trend line. Okay, so again, there's mostly positive here on this. I just don't like the overextension, and I try not to trade into an overextension. I try to wait for it to kind of relax and give me confirmation we're not quite there yet. Okay, so again, just be cautious and careful today, because traditional markets are closed. When they open tomorrow, it could be a very different scenario here. But I do anticipate Bitcoin increasing in the relative near future. It does seem to be more likely to retest the 17,000 range, so that should carry on and translate well to a coin like this. Just bear in mind, this coin does have a lot of market capitalization, and oftentimes coins that are absorbing a lot of that dominance on off days are going to get hit harder when Bitcoin decides it wants to continue further up. So just bear that in mind. All right, so again, a lot of little things there. Hopefully this was clear and concise for you and you learned something. If you want to like, subscribe, all that, comment below. I appreciate anything that you can do to help grow the channel, and look forward to working with you in the future if you want to become a member. Again, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Again, happy holidays to you. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you.